No, it's been a long time since I've been on, but hey, I'm back. Um, I came on here to talk about dreams. It's been like my dreams lately has been like, very vivid. Um, but the thing is, while I was dreaming, I have not been like aware that I was dreaming. Like when I just woke up, it felt like I ain't even gonna front. Like it felt so real. Let me know in the chat if you guys have ever had dreams and it felt like it was actually happening. And so that's what it was. Like I woke up. The moment I knew it was a dream was when I woke up. So it just felt real. Um, but when I woke up from the dream, it sparked a memory of previous dreams that I've had, right? Because I feel like it's hot in this where I'm at, right? I got some ice and like ice in a smoothie, so I might be drinking that because whatever. And I got some water. I got some a smoothie and I got water. Okay, so if you guys hear me drinking or chewing some ice, that's just what it is, right? So I woke up from the dream, and the dream was very vivid. And when I woke up, that's when I knew it was a dream. But when it was happening, I didn't know it was a dream. I thought it was like real. Like I thought it was real life. You know what I'm saying? I thought it was real. Um, and I started to think about the dreams that I had when I was in the dream and I was lucid. And having a lucid dream means that you're aware that you're dreaming. That's pretty much what it is. Like while you are in a dream, you'll start to think to yourself or become conscious like, oh my God, this is a dream. This is not real. That's what you'll say to yourself, and then it sparks this type of creative force where you could change the dream. And that's like the best time, like yo, when you're dreaming and you're aware, then you start changing it to what you want it to be. And so that means it sparks some type of creative force for you, right? And so those are the best dreams because I already know what I be trying to do. When I'm thinking of when I'm dreaming and I'm aware, I be like, oh my God. I always change it to like some type of party scheme or something, you know what I'm saying? A little R rated, but just change it to whatever I want it to be, right? I could, if I want to be in an amusement park or if I want to be flying, like, if you guys have been listening to my channel for years, because I've been talking about dreams for like probably like over 5 years on this channel, but I love flying dreams. Like, those are the best dreams, like, to me. Like, when I'm flying, when I'm like really, really flying, like, sometimes I be in a dream world and I be trying to get off the ground and it just be like, you know, sometimes I'm not able to um, do it. Like I'm not able to get off of the ground, like, or whatever, right? So the reason why I wanted to make this become live because it made me think about the times when I was dreaming and I was lucid and I was not able to change it to whatever I wanted. I was not able to create the dreamscape that I wanted, right? And I had a few of those dreams where hmm I wasn't able to change it. And this one particular dream, it always comes up, right? Because this is a memorable dream for me, and it was kind of like life changing because then I knew that it was a different type of dream. Um, so in this particular dream, when I became conscious, right, because the dream was going on prior to me being aware that I was dreaming, and I was in a living room, right, and this living room was given like old school vibes because of the simple fact that it was it had like a couch and a love seat, but it was pretty much covered in plastic. So it was given like you in your grandmother house, old school, like anybody that's was raised in the 90s, y'all already know, or late 80s. You go to your grandmother house, it's straight. Even now, maybe you have some grandparents who live long for a long time, and you in their house, and they still have the same uh, living room decorations that they had when you was a little kid. So it was kind of got given those vibes. It had the plastic on the living room set, and so I'm like looking at it, and I'm becoming aware, like, dang, I'm dreaming. This is like, this is what it is. So I'm like, oh shoot, I'm dreaming. So I'm thinking to myself, like, oh wow, I could do whatever I want to do. You know what I'm saying? It's about to get, you know what I'm saying? It's about the dreamscape is about to change. And I realized I can't change it. So I see this long hallway, and as I'm walking through the hallway on my left side, I see like this big altar. Like how when you go to a Catholic church, you see like a whole bunch of candles on the outside. It was like so many 7 days candles, and it was layered. It was like it had to be different rows. It was a lot of candles. And so I'm walking past it, and then I see, well, probably like really not past it, but like right across from that altar, I seen this being, this entity. It was shape shifting, right? I mean, like turning into different things, like different beings, different people, women, men, like what what I'm saying, was changing, right? So I started to freak out. I'm like, yo, where am I at? Where am I at? Right? Because at this time, I know I'm dreaming, but I can't change the scenery. I couldn't change it whatsoever. And so once I started questioning, like where I'm at, the person stopped shape shifting, stopped changing, and it turned into like a man. And he was like, "Yo, I brought you here." Like as clear as day, like he in the kitchen, clear as day. He's a man. I know he's a man, and he was like, "Yo, I brought you here." Yo, I started freaking out because I knew I was in a dream world. I knew I was dreaming. I knew I was having a lucid dream, and I couldn't change it. You already know. You have a lucid dream. You're aware you dream. You could change it to whatever scene you want. And I'm in a dream world. I know I'm dreaming. I'm in a lucid state, and I can't change it. And now I have this entity or this person telling me they brought me here. I started wilding out. I started, you know what I'm saying, running and stuff. I started freaking out, right? And I was running, like going back and forth through the hallway, like tripping, right? Then all of a sudden I wake up, right? And then it's only after the fact that years later, I said to myself, well, why didn't you ask him? Like, why did you bring me here? That could have been like a profound state, like, yo, you brought me here. You know what I'm saying? Like, only years after the fact, like, I said to myself, like, why didn't be calm? Why didn't ask this guy why he brought me here, right? And then that kind of like sparked this. It kind of sparked it, right? But I didn't really act on it or kind of like really think of it in a critical state. But it sparked it a little bit, right? Until like years later, I had other dreams where I was conscious that I was dreaming, but I couldn't change this dream. I couldn't change this dreamscape pretty much. Like what's going on. Like let's say if you are aware you dreaming, you in your living room, and then all of a sudden you in a club somewhere, or you at, you know what I'm saying, you at your boo house, or you know what I'm saying, you doing anything that you want to do pretty much. Like you're aware you dreaming, you just wilding out, right? Whatever. Or you dreaming and then you want to connect to some type of ancestors or whatever the case may be. You're aware, right? So that means you could change it to whatever you want to change it to. Like you could change it to where you talking to, someone who passed, like a dead loved one or whatever the case may be. You could change the dream to that, right? But I had dreams where I was lucid and I couldn't change it, right? Literally couldn't change it. It was like I was in somebody else's dream. Like somebody summons me to their dream. Like the initial dream that I had, what I just told you guys about, right? Somebody summons me in that dream, right? So then I started to realize how you could be dreaming and people could bring you into their dreams, or they could infiltrate your dreamscape. You feel what I'm saying? They could create something for you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like in this reality, right? In real life, real world, right? Let's say, for instance, you set goals for yourself, or you say to yourself, "Oh, I want to be X, Y, and Z's," but there's a lot of haters. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I try to think of it in the terms of try to make it make sense in my mind, because I'm just like, dang, you lucid dreaming, you should be able to change your dream reality, but then sometimes you're aware and you can't change it, right? And then it was a period of times, right? This was recent, right? Now, don't tell nobody, okay? This is only for, you know what I'm saying, the people who are subscribed to my channel. Because in real life, like, I remember I used to have a best friend, right? And I used to talk to her about these dreams, and she used to look at me like I was crazy and shit. And so I knew that people that was in my reality, I couldn't really talk to them about dreams, because that's not what our friendships was pretty much based off of. But I was mad. Like, I was really authentic. Like, regardless, I was just real with. If you my friend, you want to know everything. That's how I was programmed, like, over 10 years, 15 years ago. Like, that's how I was. Like, yo, I'm going to tell you, even though our friendships was based on something else, I'm going to be honest about, what I'm experiencing or whatever. And I told her, and she just looked at me like I was crazy. And then my other friend was like, well, I had a dream that Michael Jackson was, sucking my titties, like, like some crazy stuff. She's like, it doesn't matter, right? That's when my friend was like, yeah, dreams don't really matter, right? But I was very intrigued with dreams. That was prior to me, like, reading books or whatever. Um, I was very intrigued with it. Then I started to, like, read books and research and do things like that. Then I realized there was a whole online community of people that was really talking about their dreams, but I wasn't, like, getting down with their crew or whatever the case may be, right? I was just still doing my own thing. Um, but on my own, I realized that it was just a whole, like, when you go to sleep, you go to different worlds. Like, you experience different things, and just being aware that you're dreaming and you can't change that reality for yourself. That blew my mind. I remember I went to sleep, right? I'm gonna start like, me, I wasn't really big on diaries or journals, dream journals, because I just feel like certain dreams I do not want to write down, let alone talk about, because it's just so weird. For real, it was just so weird. Certain dreams I was having, it was just like super weird. Like, I'm like, yo, I ain't talking about this. You know what I'm saying? You know how you know what I'm saying? You get it popping with somebody, and you just like, I ain't never letting nobody know that this went down. But anyway, so that's where I was at. I'm like, yo, I'm not writing nothing down. Because a lot of times when people who don't remember their dream, right, you read certain books, right, or even you look at a video online, they'd be like, oh, well, you need to write down your dreams so you can remember them more. But some dreams is very vivid in your mind, even if you don't even want to remember it. To me, that's my experience. Let me know in the chat if that has been your experience where you had a dream where you never forgot about it. It's just, it imprinted your soul, like, it just made you feel some type of vibes or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, I'm big on, like, all right, sometimes certain dreams I don't even want to write out, because I'm like, damn, I don't even want this thing to come to life, to be honest, right? That's how I was feeling about the whole thing of writing down your dreams, because I feel like this particular dream that I told you about me being in the living room, being conscious that I'm dreaming, I couldn't change it. That whole dreamscape You know what I'm saying? How somebody summons me to their dream. I remember that like as if it was yesterday. Like as if I was just dreaming that. So that's why I'm big on like I'm not telling nobody. I mean, I'm not telling nobody. I'm not writing it down, or I'm not telling nobody either my dreams, because sometimes people like to downplay what it is that you experience, right? Because everybody don't care about dreams. That's a fact. Don't nobody care about no dreams. They feel like they go to sleep and they re-energize themselves, you know what I'm saying, to do whatever it is that they're doing in reality. And that's fine. That's where they at. But me, I'm very much into dreams. Dreams is like, is my thing. Like I have different books on dreams and um, astral travel and stuff like that. But the experience, my experience, I feel like is like hands on. You know what I'm saying? So getting back to having these dreams and not being able to being lucid, not being able to change it, right? So I continue to have those kind of experiences, right? So it was a period of time where I was just dreaming, going to sleep and dreaming and thinking it was reality. Like I was thinking like, oh, this is reality, until I was woke up. Until I woke up, that's when I realized I was dreaming. I feel like, to me, I, honestly, I feel like that's the worst state to be in. To be really navigating life in the dream world as if it was real. And regardless, even if it's the craziest situation. Like you could have a dream where you're around a whole bunch of dinosaurs and you think that this is real. Like, you know what I'm saying? You could be navigating life in a dream world like a caveman, or you know what I'm saying? Something that's just so far fetched from reality, right? But because you haven't had um, that epiphany in the dream world, oh, I'm dreaming. This is lucid dreaming, or whatever the case may be. You feel what I'm saying? And then you wake up and you be like, oh shit, I'm dreaming. This is actually fake, right? But then you just wake up and you like, oh my God, you in this world, right? And you be like, oh my God, just like last night, right? I had this wild, crazy dream, right? Now it was so funny, right? Because before I had this dream last night, right? Probably like last month or whatever, or a few weeks ago, however it was, right? I was watching like some scary movies. You know what I'm saying? I was watching scary movies, and um, it was kind of like, you know them scary movies where like the house is haunted type shit. And so I was thinking to myself, I was like, yo, what kind of fucking ghost has all this time on, has like be fixated on some type of person that they don't even know, they never met them before, they not their family member, none of that stuff, then they want to haunt them. I was just was like, I got, because when I was younger, I used to like scary movies, right? But then as I get older, I just find it to be like BS. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like this ghost is fixated on you and they want to haunt you and make your life miserable. It's just like, come on now, B. It just was starting to feel like fake. hmm It just was like whack. It was like what? It was like the last Conjuring movie, and I just was like, yo, this shit is getting kind of whack. Like, you know what I'm saying? But then I guess like it could be like somebody in your real life who's like stalking you. You know what I'm saying? Then you go to the police station, you get an order of protection. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of person dying, they want to stalk somebody else or whatever. Like, but I'm just like, who got the time to be sitting there to freaking harass a whole family while they dead? It was just starting to sound like BS to me. I'm not saying Ghost is fake or anything like that. But it was just like, I just was like, this movie is straight trash. Like it's absolutely whack. It doesn't make sense, right? So that's the type of thing I was on, right? And I was just like, this movie is really whack. Cause I was just sitting back like, it doesn't make sense to me. I don't know, like, right? But then after saying that, right, and I was having dreams, right, and last night I had some crazy dream that it was this entity, right. It was a group of us. It was like a handful of us. It was like about 10 of us, right? And this entity, he was like taking us out slowly but surely. You know what I'm saying? And he was just haunting us and all this stuff. And then it's like wherever you go, he would find you. Some crazy shit, right? But then it was like when it was down to the last 3 or 4 of us, right? You could start like I was able because it's crazy because it's like it wasn't a first person type dream or anything like that. It wasn't the first person type dream or whatever. It was just like it was like the way I was seeing it was like it was a movie because it was like it's kind of weird to say like I wasn't seeing it like oh like how I'm seeing myself now. Well, I can't see myself, but like how I see my hands or like how the room that I'm in is projected. It was just like a movie. Like you could see everything clear. Like you could see everything vividly. That's how it was. And and so this entity was just like he was just taking us out slowly but surely. And then it was like we was all trying to hide, and then it just seemed like wherever we hid, he would find us. And then all of a sudden, it was like he wasn't hunting us no more. And then we was like in a creative state, but it was only a handful of us, right? So I was making these things, and I was painting it, and I was like, well, when people look in, right? Because it was like these little hubs that I was painting, right? And each hub represented like a different type of movie or a different type of acting type of thing, right? And so I was thinking like, okay, well, when people looking on this, then they're going to see this type of scene, or when they're looking on this one, then they see a different type of scene, right? And so when I was in a creative state, then the entity wasn't really chasing me. Or it was just like weird, a super weird ass dream, right? But the crazy thing is, because there was more to it, but I'm just like summon it up, right? And but I was thinking to myself, I'm like, why the hell I didn't think that was a dream? Like, come on now, like you got this entity breaking down stuff, trying to kill you, kill some of the people, and I'm not thinking to myself like, yo, this is a dream. That's why I was like mainly stuck on like, yo, you know what I'm saying? It was just like far fetched, like that could never happen in this reality. Mhm. I was eating ice. I was thinking to myself like, yo, this could never happen in this reality. So why the hell would I think that this is real? Until I woke up and I realized like, oh yeah, this is a dream. But it was just so vivid. But the last part of it, it was me in a state of being creative, painting, trying to do something in reference to um, like some type of dramatic art um, movie set. It was weird. But I asked myself, I'm like, yo, why I don't know that this is dreaming. You know what I'm saying? That's what I said to myself, like, why I don't think this is dreaming. And I want to say hello to everyone who entered the chat. I'm really not even looking at the chat. I'm just telling this story. So if anyone entered the chat and I didn't acknowledge you, if you said something, hello. Um, yeah, but I'm like, I didn't even, it didn't even cross my mind to be on some like, yo, I'm dreaming. And so that part right there is just like, wow, like you go into a dream state and then you think this is reality, which I thought it was my reality until I woke up. But then what's crazy is lately I've been having dreams where I'm like I'm dreaming that I'm asleep, and then I wake up and then I'm in a dream. And like I was saying, like there's some people who astral travel, and then they go to sleep, and then cause like like I told you guys, I astral traveled before, right? And I actually went to sleep and I woke up, but I didn't wake up floating on my body and nothing of that shit. Like I fell off the couch. Um, and I was on the floor, but I was on the floor for a little while, right? But that was like kind of, I feel like that was an in between sleep state. It's just weird to explain, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just so super weird. But I had these dreams where I went to sleep, right? I'm telling you the first one. I went to sleep, and I was in I woke up in my living room, right? But I didn't wake up like I woke up. I just, all of a sudden, I'm in this dream and it's my reality. You know what I'm saying? And so in this reality, I was like a babysitter, and I was babysitting my little brother, right? In real life, I don't have a little brother. Like, that's not a reality for me, right? I don't have a little brother. So I'm babysitting my little brother, and you know, it's my living room, but then it's like a place where I was raised in this dream, and I was taking care of my little brother and all this crazy stuff, right? And so once I stop babysitting him, or when it's nap time, he goes to sleep or he leaves, right? Because it's not really, that aspect of the dream is not really vivid. All I know is that I go to sleep. Either he leaves or he goes to sleep, right? And then I goes to sleep, right? And so I go to sleep, and then I wake up in this world, in another world, like I wake up, like I go to sleep, but then I wake up somewhere where I could rapidly create. But this is not this real world right here. This is a whole nother world. And then this whole nother world, I woke up, it was like this guy, that he was there, right? I don't even know, like, who this man was, but he was just like, he was there, right? I don't know this man in real life. So I was just like, as soon as I woke up, I started creating instantly, right? But it's not like the real world, like now, like I'm talking to you guys. It's just like in this dream world. And so this guy, he was there, right? And so he's like this powerful manifester, where in this real life he can manifest on an instant. Like he's like, well, I don't want to say like, oh, this guy is like, he's just a powerful manifester in this real life. Like he's like a powerful manifester, pretty much. Like I don't know him, like know him, but he's like a powerful manifester. You know what I'm saying? And so I started to think stuff, like weird shit. And it would happen. And it's kind of like this, it was just the weirdest thing. It was just so weird. But I was manifesting, so it was a lucid dream, right? Because I was manifesting in the dream world, right? But then I had went deeper into the dream. It's just some weird stuff. Like I say it's weird because it's just like, I don't know, like some people just, well, at least with me, like I think to just go to sleep to recharge, or just, you know what I'm saying, you tired and stuff, you go to sleep, and then you enter like different worlds. You know what I'm saying? So it's just weird to me. It's like you go to sleep, do you dream, then you go to sleep in the dream, and then you wake up to another dream. That's just like the most insane thing, that's just crazy. Right? So then there's this other dream, right, that I had, right? So I went to sleep in a dream, then stuff is going on, popping off, or whatever the case may be. Things are just popping off, literally. And then I go to sleep in a dream, and then I come out my body, and then I finally see myself sleeping. So that's like a lucid dream. But how the hell, not a lucid dream, astral travel. Because you know, there's people in real life that be talking about like, oh, I astral travel when came out my body, I saw myself, right? But I didn't see myself like that. Like I didn't go to sleep and just started vibrating or feel like I'm being pulled into the dream. I went to sleep, had a dream. Then in that dream, I'm thinking it's real life. You living your life, all this stuff. Then all of a sudden, in that dream, you just feel sleepy and you go lay down. And in that dream, I laid down and I was on the couch and it was like purple. In real life, my couch is not purple. You know what I'm saying? I remember that couch vividly being purple, like purple. In the chat, let me know if you guys ever had dreams like this. Please, in the chat or whatever the case may be, you comment and you listen to this on the replay. I'm actually sitting back, so I don't have my phone, right? So I'm not really looking at the chat right now to see if you guys said anything or anything like that. But that's when I'm just talking about my dream experience, like for real. Like the dream experience it's just crazy, like. Cause I'm sitting back and I'm like, yo, I woke up in the dream, like I literally flew out of my body and I looked back and I saw myself sleeping, and I'm like, but that was in the dream. That wasn't like, oh, I go to sleep now and then I see myself floating. Cause I ain't even gonna front. It's been times when I went to sleep, right, but it wasn't like you know how when you lay in a bed, right, and you're real sleepy, right, and you just automatically fall asleep. I remember being very freaking sleepy, like so sleepy, like yo, so sleepy, and I could feel myself being pulled into the dream world. Like in the chat, let me know if you guys experience that. Like you be very sleepy and you sleep very sleepy, and then you feel your body being pulled into the dream world. I got ice. So that happened to me. Like I was pulled into it, and then I remember being pulled, and somebody was trying to injure my hand, right? But then I was able to get myself out of it because I immediately acknowledged it, and I pulled myself out of it. Then when I woke up, I did some. When I woke up, I was like, oh nah. I immediately knew like, oh no, somebody's trying to attack me here. It was like some crazy thing, but you know, I got it popping. But yeah, so but as far as me, I'm pretty sure I have experienced it. Hold on for a minute, hold on. Hey, what's up? I'm sorry about that, but I'm back. I'm back like a heart attack when this happened. Honestly, I forgot what I was talking about, but you know, it is what it is. Right. But lucid dreaming, Like sometimes you be in a lucid dream and you're aware that you're dreaming and you can't change the scene. You can't change what's going on. And the beautiful thing about being in a lucid dream is that you can change it. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes you can't, and sometimes that is so scary where you are in a reality that you can't control. Like you cannot control the reality, and that is like super scary in itself. Like you're aware that you're dreaming and you can't change nothing. So I feel like my theory on that, based off of my experience, is that you could be summoned in somebody else's reality, somebody else's dream reality, right? Or somebody could be entering your dream and being a dream like creator. You know what I'm saying? Like think about like when you see Nightmare on Elm Street, right? These teenagers, right? And I say well they are teenagers, right? Because it's like where the only time you see like where when you see Freddy Krueger enter like an adult mind is when they was in the Dreamwalker, Nightmare on Elm Street, Dreamwalker, I think it's called. I think it's called Walker. I think. Don't quote me, right? Because I'm thinking about this off of the top of my head. No, Dream Chasers. It's either Dream Chasers or Dream Walkers, right? But it's I think it's 4, either 3 or 4. Right when I go for this. Matter of fact, let me go on my TV and I'm gonna tell you right now. Hold on. Oh God, does it work? So I'm gonna actually put on my TV. I don't know if you guys can hear. Right, you hear that? That's the thing, right? But that's the TV. Come on, cause I'm about to tell you right now. So hold on. Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Chasers. No, Dream Warriors. It's called Dream Warriors. Now I remember. Dream Warriors. Right? No. Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 4. Oh, God. Hold on. Maybe, no, that's the Dream Child. Hold on. That's crazy. Hold on. Matter of fact, I was watching this on here. Yeah, it's Dream Master. No. No, that's wrong. Nightmare on Elm Street 3. That's the one. What is this? Here we go. So it was Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors. That's what it's called, Dream Warriors. I said Dream Chasers. So it's Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors. See, I thought about it before it came on, right? So you got these people. I mean, Ice. I'm sorry. So you got these teenagers right there and like the psych ward. I talked about this before. I even watched this while I was on here during Halloween, right? So you got the teenagers that's in a psych ward because whenever they go to sleep, they see this entity, Freddy Krueger, right? So he like infiltrate their dreams, like make them go crazy, actually killing some of them, or making them do things that they don't want to do, right? So, in a particular part of the dream, right, is Nancy. She's like an intern or whatever, or someone who's coming in trying to, assist the psychiatrist or whatever the case may be, right? But she experienced this experience. She experienced Freddy Krueger when she was a teenager, right? And so, but she started taking like dream depressants, like, you know what I'm saying? She started taking pills to suppress her dreams. So pretty much when she go to sleep, she's not dreaming. She's not dreaming at all. She pretty much just I guess, getting rest, right? So she, you know what I'm saying? She started taking those pills, and then she started, I guess, going to school to become a psychiatrist, and then now she like in her internship or whatever the case may be, right? And so day one when she started, one of the girls had entered the psych ward, and everyone's trying to like give her medication or whatever the case may be to make her go to sleep. And so she like, she ain't taking this medication, nothing like that. So she kind of like breaking stuff, cutting people, like just wilding out in a room. And so she started singing a song, and then Nancy started singing that song too because she remembered the song. And so the young girl started relating to her. So that was her pretty much her introduction to the psych ward, that unit. And so the psychiatrist was like, well, how you knew the song? How you knew that nursery rhyme? And she like, oh, well, she kind of like downplayed it. And then her pocketbook fell, and he saw that she was on his medication. And they didn't have Google back then. He just started researching about it. But then come to find out, the doctor and her started getting closer. And then the girl, I forgot her name. One of the girls had a nightmare, and so I guess she remembered in the dream world that Nancy started singing that song that everybody sing when they encounter, like, Freddy Krueger, and so I don't know how she just remembered that, Nancy. I don't know how she remembered, but she called her into her dream because they would sleep at the same time, and so she called Nancy in. And so it's crazy because it's like, I'm not sure if she took her Nancy took her medication or whatever the case may be, or maybe she just wasn't on medication, but she summons her in her dream. She was able, the girl who was in the psych ward was able to summons people into her dreams. So that was kind of like weird in a sense, like, she's summoning her into her dream. So it's like, so she went into the dream, and then I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened, but anyway. So then, the girl was like, well, I used to do that same thing to my father, but my father tried to act like it didn't happen. That's what the girl was saying. But anyway, so Nancy started talking to the psychiatrist about trying to get the kids on the drugs and all this shit. And then she convinced him somehow to have like because every week the psychiatrist would have like a meeting with all the kids. And I guess they would just share their dreams or just have a general topic, and they all talk about it, right? But somehow the psychiatrist convinced his boy. No, matter of fact, they did it all for they didn't know the psychiatrist boss didn't even know, like, yo, we're gonna have this meeting. He didn't know. She didn't know. So the psychiatrist just was like, all right, we're gonna have a meeting, and then we're gonna do this thing where we're gonna be dream traveling or whatever the case may be. So it was in a circle, and he had like this thing that would go back and forth, and it would be like tick, 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 like this, like what the psychiatrists use, or the hypnosis, like something where you look at and it go back and forth, right? So he had that going on, like, or whatever have you, and they all in a circle. Like, you could watch the movie, right? I'm just paraphrasing. And so they had everybody close their eyes, and they did what they did, right? And so they woke up, and they like, oh, ain't nothing happened. Like, we're gonna take two. Let's take a break or whatever. They thinking nothing happened. So one of the people wandered out the room, like this little, this guy. He saw the nurse because he liked the nurse, and so the nurse was there. So he followed the nurse or whatever. So everybody in the room acting like, oh, nothing happened. It didn't work. We didn't go into a dream, but really they was really in a dream. They literally was in a dream, right? So the guy, I wish I knew everybody's name, right? I don't know. I didn't think I would talk about this, right? But next time I talk about a movie, I'm gonna have everybody's name. So the guy he left out, he went to follow the nurse. The nurse, you know what I'm saying, coming on to him. Like in a real life, ain't no nurse coming on to no teenager. Like, come on now. You know what I'm saying? But he think it's real. People in the room think they ain't dreaming. And then all of a sudden, the guy who's in a wheelchair stand up and so he like, oh, in my dreams I could walk. And then that's when they start noticing, oh, this is a dream. You know what I'm saying? People start like doing the things that they were doing in a dream. The black guy like, oh, I'm strong. So he picked up the chair, he like bent it. And then the other girl, she'd be like, oh, she's dangerous, and she like get her knife and like, you know what I'm saying, coming on, like fighting and shit like that. So then they realize that okay, they in the dream world, but you know what I'm saying. They at first they think it's not a dream world. They think they not dreaming. You know what I'm saying? And so that's when they realize they dreaming. Then all of a sudden, Freddy Krueger, the guy who left with the nurse, he started making out with the nurse, and the nurse like bit his tongue, and then he realized that he's dreaming. It's just a lot. Like, I feel like Nightmare on Elm Street, I feel like some of that stuff, like, yeah, like some people, you see how he infiltrated, like, I'm sorry. So, because I'm drinking stuff and making sounds and stuff, mouth making sound, stomach making sound, whatever. Right? So, like with Freddy Krueger, right? They was, like with the adults, right? You had the psychiatrist, right? And you had Nancy. Nancy was over 19. She had to be in her 20s. You know what I'm saying? Point blank, period. But they was able to enter the dream because of the kids, the teenagers, or whatever the case may be. But they entered the dream, but then he infiltrated it. So he was infiltrating these kids' dreams, right? He was able to enter their dream or either have them enter his dream. It's like vice versa. Like a lot of times I'm like, oh, they're entering teenagers. But these was all teenagers that was from the parents, from the adults who tortured him or something, because they felt like it was like a backstory with this particular entity or character, is that he did something to kids, you know what I'm saying? And so the parents like killed him or burned him alive or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And so his revenge was, I don't know if he was innocent or guilty. I don't know. I don't know if this entity was guilty or innocent. I don't know. But he started harassing the people who killed him kids. So that's kind of like the backstory, a little bit of that. But I don't know, like, because in different, like they have different storylines about this character. Because when I was in a movie, I went to some movie and they had some type of, they wasn't showing like traditional previews. They were showing like, you know how when you, not even previews, you know how when you go to the movies and before the previews come on, you see all like advertisement, but it's geared towards you buying popcorn and all that stuff, right? Excuse me. So this particular movie that I was in, right, they wasn't showing like typical advertisement like, oh, you buy Coca-Cola soda and all this stuff, Sprite, whatever. They were showing like movies that was in other like languages, like French, like different languages, like different movies that were like in different cultures, different places. And so they had like a Freddy Krueger in a whole nother fucking, I don't know if it was French or somewhere else. I don't know. France, London, I don't know. But I never saw this before, and it was just like, but then it's crazy because he was attacking a young boy, not a teenager. He had to be like about 12 years old, 11. He was super young, and I'm like, they have this in different like countries. You know what I'm saying? It was just weird. So I'm like, I don't really know the ultimate, like the backstory. Like, you know how somebody could come up with something that's in another culture, they take it. So, but anyway, the whole reason why I wanted to bring that up, even though that's a fiction, right, is that how people could like enter your dreams. Like people can enter your dreams or have you enter theirs. They're like masters in that type of world, right? For real. Like, yeah, it's fictional, and because I feel like in some aspect of it, like some of it can be real. Like, cause I'm like that time when I ain't even gonna front. Like, I didn't never think to try to go back there, cause it was so long ago. It was like so long ago. Like when I tell you that was a dream that I had so freaking. It was so many moons ago, yo. So long ago. That's how long that dream was long ago. But I will never forget being lucid and knowing that I was dreaming and I couldn't change it. That's when I knew. But it took me a long time to figure out that. It took me a long time to figure out that, yo, that was a dream, son. That was a dream. And people can summon you to their world. People have the ability to summon you to their world or into your freaking world. And when I say world or whatever, it's your dreams, the dreams. You know what I'm saying? They have the ability to do that. And that's why I came with that. That's the conclusion that I came with years later. Because I knew it happened, but then years later I came up with this idea, like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if the idea is real or not, but I just know it is. You know what I'm saying? You could come up with certain conclusions of certain things that are going on in your world. You can make sense of your reality, like why certain things are happening. Like you can make sense of that shit. But I'm like, nah, it's something deeper with this right here. When that man said, yo, I brought you here, he was like, yo, I brought you here. For real, he was like, I brought you here. That's when I knew people had the ability to summons. I mean, in that moment, I didn't know, but like, based off of like just when you just spend time with yourself, when you just, you know, you can know certain things. Like, yo, I'm about to open my window for real, like, but I'm like, yo, people have the ability to summon you into their world. And thinking about in real life, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but like, cause in the dream world, there's different realities. Like when you go to sleep, sometimes you don't enter the same dreams. Sometimes you can have the ability to continue a dream where it was at. Right? You ever be sleeping and you get into the good part of the dream and then your alarm wakes you up or somebody else wakes you up. You know what I'm saying? But like, my thing is, when you sleeping, you have the ability to enter different worlds. I remember I entered a world where I knew I was dreaming, but I couldn't change it. And I was in a world full of war and chaos. It was just war, like, and then it was crazy because it was like, it was being, I remember the woman, right, because I knew I was dreaming, right, and I tried to change the dreamscape. And this woman came to me, she was like, oh, she was just attacking me, like, oh, we ain't doing none of that shit here. Da, da, da. Like, she was going in, like, yo. And she was trying to attack me for just changing the dreamscape. Right? She was just, like, dead attacking me, like, oh, you trying to change this shit? We ain't down with none of that shit. Da, da, da. And then she tried to freaking kill me, yo. Like, she was trying to get at me, like, trying to straight kill me, like. chop up my body, trying to burn me alive type shit. Like, it was just that type of reality in that dream. The dream was like, it was just straight chaos, right? But it's like in their world, they used to burning people alive, and it's straight bombing motherfuckers and just some crazy shit, right? And so I just had to run. Like, I was just like running. Like, I ain't even going front. Like, I was running. I was on some scared shit. Like, even though it was a dream. And I knew it was dreaming. But then I'm like, I couldn't change the dreamscape. So I got scared. I became a punk. You know what I'm saying? Yo, she said we ain't going for none of that shit here. Like, it was crazy because it's just like, and it was a woman who was like, she was some type of leadership, but she still was taking her guidance from a man in that dream world. But she was like, they was on some different type of time on that shit. Like, you couldn't do nothing. Like, I'm trying to change the dreamscape to some party type fun shit. This bitch like, no, we ain't doing none of that shit here. He was like, no, we ain't doing none of that shit here. I kept running and running and running. And then I entered into another dream, some type of dream world. But it was like I was hiding into like some type of tree. I was hiding in a tree, right? It looked small on the outside, but it was big on the inside. But it was kind of weird because it's like I was hiding, but with these people, I knew these people in real life. So it was kind of like weird because it's like I'm hiding with people that I really know in real life. So it's just like, it's just weird. And then one of the chicks I approached, I'm like, are you dreaming too? And she was like, no, I'm not dreaming. She was like, no. She shook her head, no. But I don't know. I never approached this person in real life, to be honest with you. It was like some crazy shit, yo. Like, it was real, like, crazy. Like, this dream shit is like, I ain't going front. Sometimes I like dreaming, but I like dreaming when I'm able to control it. But when it's beyond my control, when I can't, but I'm like, it gotta be some type of way to control the dreams that control those dreams. It gotta be a way. Cause it's like, how is it that you know you're dreaming, but you can't change it? You can't change it. You lucid, but you're not lucid. You know what I'm saying? You're aware that you're dreaming, but you can't change nothing. That shit is fucking crazy. That is beyond crazy. Mm-hmm. That is insane. You're dreaming, but you can't change this dream. That is insane. But that world was strictly war and chaos. Like, it was just like, you see fires burning and all that stuff. People just setting people on fire, like crazy shit. Like, it was crazy. It was all of rules and regulations in that world. And then, but in my whole dream life, right, I've been to so many different worlds, experienced so many dream realities. You know what I'm saying? Just different dream realities. And when I was young, when I was a kid, I liked dreaming, right? It was like a form of escape for me, right? But sometimes I would go to sleep and it'd be black, and I wake up. Like, no recollections of remembering the dreams. But then I remember some of them, like, you know what I'm saying? I started remembering it, right? And what's crazy is some people think that or believe that this real world that we're living in is a dream. But I'm like, you know, and they say, oh, it's just denser. This ain't real. But I'm like, I don't know. I don't believe that concept. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's crazy because it's just like, I remember being a kid and having dreams or having experiencing certain things, right? I remember experiencing the most traumatic, hideous shit in real life. Like, I remember experiencing it, but being able, like, let's say today I experienced some fucked up shit, like some shit you can't even move forward from, like, and then the next day being a whole new person, like not even that reality didn't exist, like you've been through some traumatic shit, and then you put it somewhere in your subconscious. You put it somewhere in your mind where it don't even exist, so you can cope the next day. You know what I'm saying? Like you able to cope through life's most traumatic situations. So I remember going through some fucked up bad shit and just dealing with it by not dealing with it, by just putting it in a memory bank that, you know, okay, this happened this day, but today is a whole new day type shit. Like, and and living life like that, where you just, where real life was just fucked up, son. Like, yo, living life like, yo, this is just the most horrendous shit you could go through. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy how you could be in a room full of people and everybody have a different story, y'all. Like, some people never even experience traumatic situations, and some people experience it, and it don't impact anything. Well, at least they think that. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like I would go through something, I would be sad, but then I have to put it in a place where it don't even exist. Like, let's say Wednesday, I went through some fucked up ass shit. Wednesday didn't even exist. It wasn't even a reality, yo. It didn't even exist. And me, as a 42-year-old, sometimes I say I'm 43, but I ain't get there yet. But it just feels like I am. It feels like I'm 43 already, but I don't know, I'm not. And I just remember having that type of reality where I would go through something on a Wednesday, and on a Thursday, that shit didn't even fucking exist. It's like, I didn't even think about that shit, yo. It was just like, for me to survive, right? I could think about that psychology I had as a kid, like, going through shit and just went through it, was sad, but then the next day, that shit didn't even exist. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, it was like a coping mechanism. Like, all right, I went through it. I cried. I was sad. But then when I woke up, it was a whole nother day, son. Like, it was just like a new day, literally. Literally, I would go to sleep and wake up the next day, and it was a whole nother day. It was just like I was born again. That's the only way for me to explain it. It was like, yo, I was waking up, and when it was literally a new day, it didn't matter what I went through yesterday. It wasn't even in my mind. But then I realized that was a survival mechanism. I don't know if if you guys experienced that, definitely put it in the chat. You know, the comment section. Please put it in the comment section if you guys have experienced that. Because the live chat, I'm just in the dark right now, like, literally. But yeah, thinking about that, I'm like, damn. Sometimes when I became conscious of when I was a little kid, and I was like, damn, I wish I was like that now, cause for a while I was holding on to shit, like, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't the best person. I'm pretty sure there's people out there that have stories about me, you know what I'm saying? But you know, it was some things that that I went through, and I used to hold on to that shit like as days, weeks, days, months. You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, damn, when I was a kid, I would go through some shit, and the next day it didn't even matter. It was like it didn't even matter. And I was like, dang, that reality don't even freaking exist no more. Like, but then I realized that was a coping mechanism. I had to do that in order to survive. When you were a kid, it's somebody over you. Other people making decisions for you, right? other people making decisions for you. You know what I'm saying? To me, I don't really, when I see a kid that's rebelling, sometimes I be deep inside the inner child of me be like, yes. I be like, yes. Because I'm like, I be wishing I was that kid that rebelled, like, just that fuck all y'all motherfuckers, like, because I knew how grimy motherfuckers was, especially adults. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, so I be feeling like my inner child be like, yeah, go ahead. That be rude. Nah, let me stop it. Um, I don't know. I went through a lot of shit. Like, I don't talk about. Some people are very vocal, or whatever the case may be. But sometimes when I just think about that shit, like in order for me to survive or to get through certain shit, I had to act like yesterday didn't exist. That was my coping mechanism, right? And I could imagine that some kids ain't rock like that. They just like fuck it, like yeah, I knew this shit happened to me, and I don't give a fuck about you, them, or they. Like, became very aware of themselves. That's what I think, but it's just the idea. Um, but waking up and it's just a new day, totally. No memory of yesterday, pretty much. Like, it didn't exist. In order for me to survive today, yesterday didn't matter. Yesterday wasn't a reality. The fucked up shit that people that supposedly love me did couldn't exist in the next day, right? So that was a reality. Just like, people go to sleep and they enter different worlds, or they go to sleep and they start to be aware of certain shit. Like, oh, I'm conscious, right? Tonight I'm conscious and I'm creating, you know what I'm saying, and everything is working out for me. Then I go to sleep another day, I'm aware, and I'm in somebody else's reality. I can't create no more. I can't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I think about, like, when I was a kid, I didn't have no fucking power. Like, some aspects I did, but then 90% of that shit, I wasn't like I was in somebody else's reality. I had to do what somebody else wanted me to fucking do, right? And that's the only thing I could really like think of. This this particular topic ain't geared towards kids or nothing like that. I'm just thinking about with me, my experience. Like, that's the only thing I could really talk about. Like, some people are like, oh, you trying to rebel? No, this is just an experience that I had, right? But comparing it to the dream world, like, sometimes you are in realities when you're sleeping and you're aware and it's beyond your control. You don't have no control of it. Don't even have no control when you wake up from the shit. Like, I remember I was reading this book. I gave the book out. I don't even know what the book is called now. I don't even know, right? I gave the book, but I think about it because I was doing, it was something in reference to changing your subconscious mind, or changing, like trying to, matter of fact, it was trying to get something out of your subconscious mind, something that's like hindering your control of it, right? To me, right? It could be something else, but what I got from it, right? Because pretty much this is my experience. That's what I'm sharing. You people, everyone's experience could be something different, right? So that's why I'm like, I mean, honestly, it could be something different. Somebody else's experience, right? But my experience, right? So I found this book that you could go into your subconscious mind and change it, right? But in order to put something new in your subconscious mind, you have to visit the old shit. And so it was like this meditation, right? Because it really was a meditation, right? In reference to going into your subconscious mind and getting out the old stuff to replace it with the new stuff, right? So you would think to yourself like, oh, in order for me to replace something like that in my subconscious mind, oh, like let's say you could have something in your mind where you say to yourself, oh, I'm not good enough, right? So then you'll create an affirmation to say, oh, I am good enough, something like that, right? So that's what I was thinking. I'm like, okay, well, we're going to be doing exercises like that. I was thinking like that, right? So it was this whole exercise, right? And I realized that, oh, this is some meditative shit. This ain't even nothing where, oh, you're writing out some new affirmations to eliminate the old thought process that you had. Because that's the same way of reprogramming your mind, or dealing with your subconscious, right? Because based off of the knowledge that I have acquired, in order to change your subconscious mind, you gotta do something over and over again, like, and a repetitious shit. You gotta do something over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Over, like, even if you don't feel like doing, you gotta do it over and over again. Or you gotta say something or do something. No. Repetition, right? So it's repetition, not change your mind. Do something over and over again. Say something over and over again. It's just let's say a routine. You know what I'm saying? So it's something like that. Like you do it over and over and over and over and over and again. Then it could be trauma. Trauma could change your subconscious mind. Could change your mind. Something that you went through. Let's say if you had a good childhood, right? Boom, very good. Then something traumatic happened, and then all of a sudden you are different. Let's say you were child, you were doing child stuff, you having a good time, right? You having a great time. Then something happened. Then all of a sudden, your childhood is, you're not even a child anymore. You can't even function as a child. It's just everything changed. Like one minute your mother was alive, then the next minute your mother was dead. That's how you could differentiate. Like, okay, I remember doing kid stuff, having a good time. My mother was alive. We was going to Chuck E. Cheese's. We was, you know what I'm saying? For Christmas I had like 100 gifts. We used to go. I used to play in the backyard. I used to make mud pies, and my mother used to act like she used to eat it. Then all of a sudden, my mother was dead, and I just remember getting one gift after Christmas. I remember after my mother died, I never celebrate Halloween no more. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. Like I'm not, I'm not even functioning as a kid no more. Like it don't. You know what I'm saying? Like something like that. Like was traumatic. Oh, I was in a car accident, and I remember walking good, and then the next time I have a limp. Like something like that. Like was traumatic, and it changed your mind as far as like how you view it and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It could be some shit like that, right? And then I don't remember the third one. Like, I don't remember repetition, trauma. I don't remember the third one. But anyway, right? So, damn, my whole train of thoughts just went. I don't remember what I was talking about. That is crazy. Like, I don't remember none of this shit. Like, nothing. I know it's in reference to the dreams. Yo, I remember it's in the dreams. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, love. Dang, hold on. All right, let me just go back. Damn, I don't remember none of this shit. Nothing. I said trauma, repetition. Oh, yeah, so trauma, repetition, and it's something else. And trauma, repetition, and something else that reprograms your mind to make you know what I'm saying? Like when you conscious of it, right? Boom. So I know, like in reference to like, is this book I was reading, right? So I'm like, oh, I'm thinking, oh, it's in reference to that shit, right? But it was some whole other shit, right? It was some whole. I talked about this on this. I talked about this on this page or whatever the case may be. So I'm like, I'm reading a book, right? And then it was a meditation, and it was some meditation type shit. And I'm like, you know how when you get these meditation books, it's like you gotta constantly reread it to yourself or whatever like that. So I read it to myself, right? Probably like a few times. And I'm like, oh, okay. We gotta do this step, do this step. But I didn't do it as I should. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Please hold on, I'm gonna be back. Okay, what's going on? I'm sorry about that. It took me a long time. Hold on. Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, it took me, I'm sorry, it took me a while. I had to refill my ice and my little drink I had. Some mango. Um, type of shit. I'm literally hungry. I'm hungry. What time is it? I'm starving. So yeah. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry I had you guys on hold for about like 5, 10 minutes. I'm sorry about that, but it is what it is. Um. Oh my God. I think I forgot what I was talking about. But I'm about to get something. I'm hungry, y'all. Like so serious. I know I was talking about the dream room. Oh yeah, so I was talking about this book that I was this book that I was reading. I would ever have you. And it was in reference to your subconscious mind. And with this book was your subconscious mind. You had to go in and take out the things that no longer serve you and enter the things that did serve you. But this particular exercise was more focused on removing the things that no longer serve you, you know? And so I was thinking in reference to like something you could physically do in this world, like you could come to terms with the things that you've been believing, like belief systems, and removing it. Like, let's say you believe in, oh, I believe I should be treated bad, like something like that, like something that was deep rooted in you that you had to change off. I thought it was something like that, but it was like, no, it was more so like a meditative state, right? So within this meditative state, it gave you some type of outline that you should do. So I did the outline. It was like, so you had to visualize yourself being on an elevator, right? So you either was going up or going down, right? So I don't have the book with me. I don't know what the book is called. I don't know, right? So I don't know what the book is called. I did share it before because I talked about this. Like some of these things I'm talking about is very profound that I've experienced. I would not be happy. So, but I don't know the book name off the top of my head. And so I did the exercise. This exercise was mainly geared towards removing what was in your subconscious mind that was something that you know was hindering you. So I did the exercise, right? As soon as I did the exercise, like I told you, it's like a meditative state. And so I did the exercise, and I had to go on this elevator, visualize myself getting on the elevator, right? And so it was either going up or going down. I don't remember for sure. And so once I got on the elevator, right, and I visualized myself. And when I woke up from that, I was in this room, and it was my old, the apartment that I lived in. What I remember the most. Well, not remember the most, but I experienced most of my teenage years, like from preteens to like probably a little bit lesser, like maybe from when I was 10 to like 18, like something like that, right? So, and I woke up in a room and it's apartment, but it was in a room, right? But it wasn't in my bedroom that I had when I was in this particular place. It wasn't like that or whatever the case may be. And I woke up, I remember feeling extreme, I was so scared, like, because while I was in the bed, I knew I entered into, because pretty much it was like, it was a meditative state, right? To enter into the dream world. So I knew I was dreaming. Like, as soon as I woke up, I panicked. I knew I was dreaming. I was trying to wake myself up. I was like, wake up, wake up. I was screaming, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. And I was at the same time, I was looking at the bathroom because I knew somebody was in the bathroom. And this person that was in the bathroom. During that particular time of my life, I allowed that person to have so much power over my life. I allowed him to have so much power, like exercise this power in my life. Like I knew he had this power in my life. Like seriously, like you know what I'm saying? So he has so much power in my life. But at the same time, like I knew that this was like some type of exercise I was doing. Right, but I entered into another reality in the dream. Like that was in my current reality when I was doing the training. I call it a training because it was like when you get these books and they have you do certain things in your life, like especially like with meditative. Like they didn't call it a meditation. He called it something else, I believe. Maybe it was a meditation they called it, but it was because you was literally going into your subconscious mind. So I entered a part of my subconscious mind that was just like fucked up. Like really fucked up, son. Like it was really fucked up. It was during the time where I allowed some guy to have full control over my life. And I believed in this particular person so much. But then it really wasn't beneficial for my life. Like it caused me to have to, change. It's like that experience that I went through was life changing, life altering. So it's like it was during a period of my time where I went through a state of being very empowered to losing that power to somebody that I trust and believed in or loved. You know what I'm saying? And so it was taking me back to that time, right? But instead of making an empowerment move where because I really had full control, but I didn't exercise it in that dream. Like I didn't exercise it. And it just feels so like, well, I don't feel nothing really, but the way I think about it is like, damn, like, you in a dream and you fucking still scared, you still acting like a punk, like those type of disempowerment ideas, but I don't have no feelings that's associated to it, but I know with that experience or that dream that I had, because it really wasn't really a dream, because you meditate and you close your eyes and you open your eyes and just like really nothing happened, or you could have certain visualizations, like you close your eyes and you could visualize yourself like, at a beach and you hear the sounds of the beach and you feel your feet in the sand or you feel you sitting in the sand, then you feel like the human or the whatever, like the feeling, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't nothing like that. Like, I know I'm closing my eyes and I know I'm seeing stuff in my mind. It was like I visualized and I took myself, because it was like a guidance meditation. And with this, when the elevator doors opened up, I was in a different reality. I was on the bed. in my old apartment in my mother's bedroom. My mother's bedroom in this old particular apartment was the last bedroom. My bedroom was right after hers. So hers was the last bedroom. Then right next to hers was my room. And then right across from my room and her room was the first bathroom. Right? But I was in her bedroom. And I woke up and I felt like, oh my God. I became immediately scared. I was immediately scared. Right? Instead of waking up like, oh, I'm here, I'm dealing with my subconscious and I'm eliminating this shit. Because really, that's what it was. Like, I don't think the author of this book did these. Because you know how some people could write a book and they write a book in reference to like, oh, I'm just going to put a whole bunch of bullshit in here and that's it, right? I think the person who wrote this book knew that these exercises or these meditations or whatever the fuck he called these things was very powerful. Like, how the hell you do an exercise, right? But I didn't follow it to a T. I didn't follow this shit to the T because I didn't do it. You know, I just did what I remember because I didn't want to do it where I was reading it all the time. Because you know how you read something, you try to like, because it's like you're going into a meditative, you're going into a meditative, well, I didn't know it was going to be a meditative state. Like, no, actually I did know it was going to be a meditative state. I didn't know it was going to take me into a dream world. That's a better way to say this shit. Like, I didn't know that I was going to be in the dream world. That's a fact. Like, I didn't know I was going to be in the dream world. For real. I didn't know that. I didn't know that this exercise was going to take me to sleep, pretty much. Like, when I did the exercise, I remember doing the exercise, but I don't remember I was going up or going down. That's the crazy shit, because this was just like, because you're going into your subconscious mind, so I would like to think you're going down, but I'm like, I don't know if I was going up or going down. But once the elevator doors opened, and I went through it, I woke up into a dream. So that's the weird shit about this shit. You know what I mean? I didn't know. That's the crazy shit. Like, I did not know. And so, because you know how you get a book and it's like, oh, you're trying to empower yourself, you're trying to tap into your subconscious mind and really change the things that you've programmed yourself to. Because really, it's like your subconscious mind is really, your subconscious mind is really controlling everything, right? Even though your physical conscious mind is acting out, but it's acting out based off of what you was programmed with, right? So, when I did that exercise, right, and I didn't know I was going to tap into some whole other shit. Like, I didn't know I was going to wake up and I was in the place where, like, basically, you know what I'm saying, I grew up at. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. It's funny, like, I really didn't know that. Real, I didn't know that. So I woke up and I was panicking because I knew I was dreaming. And I was like, wake up, wake up. I kept saying that. And as I was saying wake up, I was looking through the door and looking to the bathroom door because the bathroom door was closed, right? But you could see like the light. You know how when you look at a room door and you can see that the light is on, right? So I knew somebody was in the bathroom. And I knew it was this particular person that I was, during that time, I was very fearful of and who was controlling my life, like in real life, right? And the things that I really believed in that time, right? The things I believed. Because remember, like, whatever stage you're going through, right? Whatever stage of life that you're going through, it's like, it's something that you are programmed to be, during that time, there was a lot of fear. And so I knew this entity was coming out the back, right? And I was scared and I knew I was in this reality, right? But I wasn't really addressing it like, oh, I'm here to change, to remove what's in my subconscious mind, because that would have been very smart. Like, okay, you woke up in the dream world, but you have the power to change, take control. Because pretty, like, when I think about it, that was the whole ultimate thing, right? To take what's in your subconscious mind and, like, take what's in your history and kind of rearrange it. Like, it's kind of like time traveling when I think about it. Like, you time traveling and then once something else is changed, like, let's say you was in a yellow cab, right? Or whatever, and then you go back in time and you don't get in a cab, like something like that, right? I knew that this particular entity in my subconscious mind was like, it wasn't physically a memory, pretty much, like, oh, you know, time traveling, you going in your memories, right? But it was that time frame, right? And then what's crazy about it, it could be a memory, right? Because it's like, in my particular life, like, I during a lot of times, I like to suppress certain things, right? So you can have memories that you don't know that you have those memories because you bury it so deep in your subconscious mind, like, you don't know, like, remember when I said, oh, when I was a kid, I would go through shit, and then the next day, it's like as if that shit never happened. Because it's like I buried it in my subconscious mind, or it was like, okay, this happened, but then it's like, in order for me to survive in this environment, I have to act like it didn't happen, like some type of shit. You know what I'm saying? It was like something like that, right? But immediately when I woke up, I knew the environment I was in, and I was trying to wake myself up. I was hitting myself. I was yelling because I knew once this entity got out the bathroom, I was scared. I was like scared. I was like a punk, really, for real. But thinking about it, it's like you going into your subconscious mind, right? Because I'm thinking this is going to be like any other meditative state I did. Like, you just have some visualizations, and that's it. I didn't know I was going to go into a dream world. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know I was going into a dream world. That's a fact. I didn't know it was going to be that type of experience. I didn't know that. I just thought it was going to be like, you know how you do a meditative visualization type of thing, and you want to be like something like that. I didn't know I was really tapping into something else. Like, I don't know, once I find it out, posted, you know, this book, but I posted before, and I talked about this so many times, because some experience be so, like, vivid, like, you gotta talk about it, like, you know what I mean? So, I was so scared, but in hindsight, I wish I would have just manned up, like, you know what I'm saying, took my power back. I was still operating in a space where I didn't have power, or, you know what I'm saying, where I was very fearful. And so I think that was what it was really all about. It's like you powering up, you taking your power back, you becoming somebody different, and, you know what I'm saying, you killing an aspect of your subconscious, like, that is, you know what I'm saying, like, it's eliminating the program. I don't know, it's weird to explain, because I didn't think I was, because when, you know what I'm saying, when you read the book, you think it's, oh, you're eliminating some certain ideas or whatever in your subconscious mind, but it's like, That's just not what happened. I was scared. It looks like I was going back to that time. It was scary. It was very freaking scary. So I'm like, I was thinking about doing that exercise again, but I'm like very scared because I'm like, yo, like, I didn't expect that to happen, but I'm like, but, you know, maybe that's something you have to face. I don't know, like, because you know, people write books and it be bullshit. People write books and it be just a whole bunch of bullshit, but I just feel like this person who wrote this book was tapping into some whole other shit, like, for real, it's just like, that shit was something that, like, I just can't believe it. And I didn't even do the exercise accurately. I didn't do it accurately. That's the crazy shit about it. I didn't do it accurately. I didn't do it accurately, so that's kind of weird. Like, you know how everybody got the steps? Oh, you need to do this, you need to do that. It wasn't accurate. It wasn't an accurate thing. But yeah, I had a result. That's what scared me, because as soon as I woke up, I knew where I was at. I just wish I would have manned up. For real. Because I feel like that's what it was all about. Like, facing your demons, facing the thing that's keeping you in a fucked up state, like, where you, that's what I think now, like, I didn't do the exercise again. I'm honestly scared, yo, don't tell nobody, yo. I'm so scared to do this exercise again, like, because it took me to a time where I was my weakest. You know what I'm saying? Where every day was, like, just fucked up. You know, my consciousness was, at that particular time in my life, I was fucked up. You know, like, yo, I was fucked up. I'm being so honest with you guys. Like, this wasn't, I wasn't in my kid mind. None of it wasn't like, oh, I went through this, then the next day. No, it was like trauma after trauma after. It was just fucked up. For real. For real, but I don't know, maybe one day I'll do it. For real. Maybe one day I'll do that exercise again, but after that I never did it. I just like, this is just some whole next level shit. This is, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, a lot of people always talk about your subconscious mind, like your programming and what you need to do to, you know, to change it, but I never did no exercise that took me to a dream world, yo. Because it was pretty much a dream world. Like, I knew I was dreaming. Well, it was a dream, pretty much. Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was, like I said, the person who wrote the book, I'm like, yo, he had to know this was going to happen. But then I wasn't doing his steps. I did the steps that I remembered. If it's 10 steps, I did about 6 steps completed or 5 steps completed. Like, something like that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't do it complete because I got tired of looking at the books. Like, oh, you need to do X, Y, and Z, you need to do this, you need to do. I just did what I remember or what felt right to me. You know what I'm saying? And I still woke up in this different state. But it was going, I guess if I would have completed the steps, maybe it would have had me into an empowered state, because I'm sitting back thinking, like, I was so scared, yo. I was super scared when I woke up in that dream, yo. I didn't know it was going to take me into a dream, because that's what it was, a dream. Literally, I woke up, I saw that bathroom, I knew that nigga was in there. I was fucking scared. I was like, wake up, wake up. I was hitting myself, yo. It was like being in, like, you know, Nightmare on Elm Street, that movie. And I was talking about the Dream Warriors. It was like that shit. It was like waking up and, you know, Freddy Krueger is about to hit your ass type shit. That's really like, really, that's really dealing with some shit, like waking up into a world where you know some shit is after you or something. Like, that's what it was. Like, even certain memories, like, I mean, it could be like some type of memory like that, like, yo, you know some shit is happening, like, but some shit you got to deal with. You know what I'm saying? It's just weird, like, but after that, I never did that experiment because I woke up when that nigga, he came out the bathroom, and he came out, and then somebody else came, they was freaking after me, son, in my face, screaming. But they didn't put hands on me, but I woke up. I was so fucking scared, like scared. But it shows like that entity, it was like two entities. It was like the nigga I was scared of, and then this fucking bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was two dynamic ways of being fucking scared. Like, I was scared of this man, and I was scared of this woman. I was scared of this woman because of the man that was attached to her. When I think about it in my mind now, because I'm like, why the hell is he and this woman connected? But then in reality, they couldn't even talk to each other. But then the woman was attached to a nigga that had fucking power over this man that was in my face too. So it was just some weird shit, like. But then when I think about it, I never did the exercise again. I was like, oh, this is some old, like, I got a book on nothing but meditations. Like, I'm talking about walking, in this book, they got walking meditation, all this shit. But this other book, I have never experienced nothing where I did that exercise in a book and it took me to a dream world, never. And I didn't do it. I'm too scared to do it again. Yeah, so, word. And so, I mean, I was like, I'm mad scared, yo. Like, yo, shivering in my boots. I never experienced nothing like that, yo. And that's pretty much like you lucid. You know you're dreaming and you can't change it. You just gotta deal with what's in your face. And so that's why I'm like, damn, this is really dealing with your subconscious mind in a whole different freaking world, be like you dealing with your subconscious, you dealing with your own mind. Cause it wasn't real. I know the man that I was dealing with was dead in real life. He's dead. But it's still a memory. It's still like somebody who had control at that particular time, right? But then a woman, I don't know if she's alive or dead, to be honest. She could be dead, because in real life, when I knew them two entities, right? The woman was mad older than us. She was like, she had us about maybe 15 or 20 years. And in real life, I was a teenager. I was like, I had to be like, just turned 18 when I met these people. That woman and her man. And the man in the dream, like, I'm trying, like, I ain't even gonna front, like, the men, well, I don't want to go deep with that shit. That's a whole nother topic, right? But these two people in the dream, I knew them in real life at a different time in my life. And in the time of my life, I knew them when I was a teenager, right? When I was 18, 19, when I knew them. Like, together. Knew them together. Like, of course, I knew the man longer than I knew the woman. The woman was just short-lived, but she was mad older than me. Mad older, like, extreme. If I was 18 in real life, she had to be, like, going on 40 type shit, or maybe older. Maybe she looked older and could have been like in her 30s. I don't know, right? The man in the dream, I knew him since I was like 15, so, right? But not dispersing the relationship, right? But I did that in the past. But right now, yeah. I always say, I like people to be very transparent. I'm being transparent in reference to the experience. Because I'm like, yo, that book, those experiences, workshops was just crazy. Mm-hmm. Shit was crazy behind the whole, but it's fucking crazy. Mm-hmm. Crazy. I didn't know I was going to experience that. That's a fact. But one day, I might do that experience again, but I'm gonna do it in its entirety. Like I do have another meditative book that I use, but it was more. I don't know. It never took me to no dream state, Never did. That was a dream state because it was like it was another reality. Like you meditate and you. I feel like when you meditate, like sometimes you're using an aspect of your visualization. Oh, visualize that you at the beach. You could smell the salt water. You could feel the sand on your feet. You're walking. As you walking, you can feel the sand heat and like stuff like that, right? You visualizing it, but not taking you to somewhere else. Like it's motherfucking in real life. It's sunny, but then it's taking you to a place where it's a snowstorm, like something like that. You know what I mean? It's interesting, but I don't know. I'm about to get off of here. I got some stuff I need to do, but maybe I should do it while I'm live. Real talk. That is so crazy. Like when I think about that, like the amount of fear that I felt was crazy, yo. Like I felt so much fear. Like I was scared. And then it was a reflection on how I felt in real life. Like it became like this game and then it turned into some fear shit. That's the only way I can explain it, but it was like some Nightmare on Elm Street shit when I woke up. I did that exercise, got on that elevator, got off the elevator, and then I was in my subconscious aspect of it. Like you in this shit. So it was just some deep shit, like, and I was trying to wake myself up. I kind of wake up and I think about that movie type shit. Like they try to wake themselves up. They were still stuck in a dream. So that's how I kind of low key felt. I don't know. Trying to make a thing of it. So that's how I felt. I don't know. But it's been a long time since I actually been on this page to talk about my dreams. Or just to talk about the dream world in general. I think the last time I talked about my dream or anything scary stuff was last year. So it's my first time really going. But yeah, I'm about to get deep in this shit like because I got different books on it. And I also got other books too that I want to tap into because I don't even want front. Like, I like this topic. It's interesting in me. And I don't have nobody in my real life I can talk about this too. Like I told you, years ago, I used to talk to one of my best friends. She was my best friend, right? And she was like a cool person. She was super cool. I used to talk about that shit too. Or talk about any experience I had, whether or not if, like, whatever I was experiencing, I would talk to this person about. But even though people looked at me like I was weird, like it was more than one person. Listen. If I had a group of friends, I was telling my group of friends what I was experiencing. But they looked at me like I was crazy. Like I had a dream, and it's just a dream. But honestly, I don't think it's just a dream. I just really don't. I think it's deeper than that, to be honest. but it is what it is. You know, but it feels good to be back on here. You know, I haven't been back on since last year, so I have to say Happy New Year's. I know. I hope you guys have a great New Year's. You know, we like in mid-January. Or whatever. Yeah. So, but this, I feel like the dreams is, I feel like my dreams is communicating with me for real. And it's crazy. Let me tell you something. I know I said this on other lives that I've been on, but it's funny how like certain dreams that I have, like let's say if I'm not on social media or not on my phone, like let's say if I'm not on my phone period, right? And I'm into my life, right? Like let's say like I ain't even gonna front. I like to listen to music. I like to listen to music where I'm listening to a playlist and then all of a sudden a new song. I like to figure out new music through me just listening to the radio or a playlist or like a radio on the app that I'm listening to, right? Right now, when I listen to music, right, I like Tidal. Like Tidal is I'm subscribed to because I just love the app. I love the app. That's like the best app because it's like the different music that I listen to, they'll create a radio, and within that radio, sometimes they play new music that they think I might like, and sometimes they got it on point. Like a lot of times they got it on point. Like, oh, I'm like, oh wow, I like this new song. Or sometimes I go to their homepage and I listen to like new music or whatever the case may be. Right, so what the hell? I don't know what I'm going to put that up. I don't know what I lost the train of thought. Oh my God, I lost my train of thought. Why I brought that up? Damn. Have you guys ever be talking and then y'all forget why y'all say the shit that y'all say? Cause right now I'm like, what the hell? Why did I bring that up for? I forgot what I was talking about. Ice. Damn, I forgot why I brought that up. Damn. Like I just lost the train of thought. I know I was about to get off and I was talking about, I don't know. I really forgot, but damn. I really forgot why I was telling that story. I know I was about to get off and then I started talking about that shit. I forgot. But I'm about to get off. For real, I forgot why I brought that story up. Because I was about to get off and I started talking about that story. But I'm about to get off. It's been a long time since I've been on here, but I'm going to come back talking about different topics that I like to talk about. I just told some story in reference to why I was getting off for. I don't know, what the hell? I just lost the train of thought. That's some BS. That's a fact. Like, I forgot what I was talking about. But I'm going to just vibe out or whatever. It feels good to be back. I'm going to, yeah, it feels good to be back. I'm about to get off of here. Bye.